Ryan Trahan's metaverse video is the best video on YouTube in the past 5 years. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Realest Podcast, episode 30. The banner is like right there, thing that we do every time we start an episode. I first off want to start off by saying Prime is great. Drink Prime. I'm not paid to say that. I think it's an amazing drink, and I think everyone should have a fair share at drinking one of the greatest drinks to ever exist on this planet. I have to take a sip of that lemon lime. Not one of my favorites. I do like blue raspberry a lot more. Maybe not a lot more. I like lemon lime a lot, but I also really like blue raspberry and tropical punch. I find it so ironic that they called it tropical punch, saying that they, Logan Paul and KSI, that is, both of them had fought and they punch. It's great marketing. Great marketing. I'm hoping I could at least contribute to their marketing campaign. Hashtag Drink Prime. Is that Drink Prime? I've been practicing my handhold. I've been like, Drink Prime. And I'm like, is it good? I think it's good. Let me know in the comments if it's good. Regardless, let's get into today's episode. We have a ton of things to talk about. Maybe some that we don't have to talk about a whole lot, but we've got a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, based on the title of this episode, you guys know that we're going to be talking about Ryan Trahan. We're going to talk about him first because I feel like he deserves his flowers. Honestly, Ryan Trahan is going to be one of the biggest YouTubers to ever grace YouTube. Honestly. We're also going to talk about the Deji versus Alex Wassabi fight. UFC fights are going on right now, and I'm missing them to record this episode. And if you guys have been watching a lot of the episodes, you guys know that I really like UFC. I really like fighting. Put me in the league. Yeah, take that. We're going to be talking about that fight, the results of that, things that went down, and some of the behind the scenes of that event that I have a little intel on. And then also having like a Creator Now Meetup. You guys know that I've been talking about Creator Now for like the past like few episodes. I think it's amazing. And it's one of the ways that I actually was able to, how would you say, able to at least kind of get my foot into the door as a creator. And not only that, I've also been critiqued by Ryan Trahan, who, again, we're going to talk about here in a second. But they have a kind of like an off season right now, and they have some meetups going on right now. So I decided I'm going to head back down to LA for basically like 2 days, essentially the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And I am going to go to the meetup. Even though it's far, I said, I will willingly go over there for that. So that's what has happened thus far. And I just want to thank you guys so much for always supporting me throughout this podcast, the main channel, and on the live streams. We've been killing it. Also, not to mention, one of the biggest feats that's happened this year on the stream just wrapped up, but we're going to get that later on because I think Ryan Trahan is by far the most important thing right now. This man, right now, if I'm not wrong, I just watched his 2D video like 2 hours ago, and it was number 2 on trending. Number 2. Insane. And I'm pretty sure his metaverse video, which was the video he posted before that, was number 1 on trending. And if you guys don't know Ryan Trahan, where have you been? What's going on? He is by far gracing our eyes with not only entertainment but great storytelling. And who doesn't love a good story, right? We all know a great story that we could all attach ourselves to. And I think Ryan is one of those people not only that we can attach as a story of what he's experiencing, but as a person and what he's physically feeling. And I think that's a blessing to have, just to be able to kind of relate to him, And I think Ryan's a great person. I've DM'd him a few times, and on Creator Now, he actually roasted, or like gave feedback. I say roast because that's like the terminology we use. It's the verbiage that we use on Creator Now. But he actually critiqued and gave very good advice back on my channel. Like, he did it out of his own grace. I wasn't the only one, just so we're clear on that. There was a few friends like Rachel, who you guys may know, who I've talked about a handful of times. Myself and I think there was 3 other channels, so there was 5 in total. He just like went through people's channels and was like critiquing them, giving feedback and like, what is this? Like, and it was great. It was good advice, and I think it was very crucial of me to at least come in with open arms, saying that it's Ryan Trahan at this time. This was in September. Roughly around September. So, obviously very kind of him. That was out of his own grace. He had given like a whole workshop and then did that unplanned. And kudos out to Ryan for doing that. Kudos out for him being just like a very kind-hearted guy when it comes to making YouTube videos. And I think he freaking kills it. I think he's phenomenal. It's amazing to see what he's able to produce. And I think the one thing that I really want to at least touch on, because it's Ryan Trahan, him and I have somewhat similar stories in a way, even though they didn't happen at the same time. And funny enough, I kind of found Ryan at least more consistently, at least when there was more of a name to him. Ryan Trahan kind of got introduced to me through Colin and Samir when they had an episode with him. But not only that, I had known Ryan prior to that when he was doing like workout videos and running videos. And it was insane to kind of think about that he is somebody that I've known for a long time, but just didn't know that I known him for a long time. So it was kind of weird dilemma there where it was just like, I know who this guy is, but I don't recall why. And then once you like find out, I'm like, oh, you peel the onion back and like, that's where I know him from. And it's incredible. Like, it is so incredible to see, like, the growth between, like, doing, like, 5-minute ab workouts with him to, like, what he's doing now. And it's weird that we're, like, doing the same thing, just not at the same time or at the same level. He's obviously doing it a lot better than I am. And it's just so cool that, there's a long story behind that of him kind of, like, making money as an athlete to then not going back to school and running because that's what he did. He was a cross-country athlete. And, he didn't go back to college because he really had a lot of passion within YouTube and what that was. And I felt the same way when I was not going back to college because I wasn't, able to make money. I wouldn't have been able to stream as a collegiate athlete, theoretically. I'm surprised a lot of people got away with it because I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but from my understanding, I wouldn't have been able to stream, make any money from YouTube at the time. And that's not a great place to be at. That is not a great place to be at. And so, obviously, he's not the very first person. Obviously, things have changed now that you are able to get sponsored and able to have a bit of income from YouTube. So, it's really cool to kind of see how that story of, like, not going to college and focusing on content and what that ceiling could look like, because I imagine Ryan kind of had an idea that athletics are going to take him so far. YouTube probably has a higher ceiling, and you're probably going to go through some of the same problems as you would if you were, doing track/cross-country sports in this case, where, there's these down periods and it's just like you don't really believe in yourself as much as you feel like you should, and the results aren't showing. The same thing is with YouTube. It happens no matter what, whether you're starting a business, whether you're learning how to play like an instrument. There's going to be a point where it's just like, well, I know I can do it, and you just try and try and try, and where the results feel the same, even though you're learning from it. You're learning from those experiences of failing and maybe not seeing the results that you should because or would like to see, because you're still learning in the aspect of what it's like to go through that. You're learning what it's like to go through that. And I think that's a very, very serious message that I think anybody could take from anything that's talked about Ryan and athletics and sports and whatever you do. But I think Ryan, his storytelling within these videos is tremendous. His recent one about having the subplot of Shrek and Jorge and this guy named Alex and in the state called Oregon, his humor obviously bleeds through the screen tremendously, and that's a nice factor that he really brings to his videos. But there's these really like overarching motifs, and I think one that really sticks with me about Ryan is the metaverse video. Holy freaking smokes. He starts out with a mission of going to the metaverse to try and become the most popular person in the metaverse, overtaking, quote-unquote, what he says is Mark Zuckerberg, because obviously he's kind of like the, quote-unquote, founder. He's not the founder, but like everyone kind of ties the two together, obviously. And he meets a guy named Clay Victor 11. Clay is what they call him in the video, what Ryan calls him in the video, and what he's referred to. And basically, there's like this whole storyline of like what it would be like to be like the most popular person, but then it doesn't really fizzle out to be what it seemed like. And he's like, I don't really like the fame. I don't really like that. And I mean, I think there's obviously a grander storyline to that and a greater message to that like that storyline of like, I just want to be famous. I want to do this, but then realize it's not exactly what it seems. Like you're most likely going to have the same problems that had already existed, just with more money or with more friends. But it's still the problem because the friends are still a problem. No matter if you have if you have no friends or you have friends, like the problem is still the same. It's still the friends. Like I have too many of them. I don't know how to manage them. I have no friends. I don't know what to do. Like you're just playing a ping pong battle with yourself. And in the video, it always cuts back to him, like with his father, the pizza delivery guy, his wife, Haley. And essentially, there's like some regression in his normal life. And I think it's so crucial. You see the plants start to wither. You see these photos of George Orwell, 1984. If you haven't read that book, you'll probably understand what I'm... If you have read that book, you'll know what I'm saying. It's like the big brother aspect of like something overwatching you. I think Animal Farm was on there, which is another George Orwell book. But then you just see his life in real life slowly decay, and obviously that's by design. But like to be in the metaverse for 100 days, it's weird. It's really weird. Because like obviously there's a spectacle to it of like doing that, but then there's like so much you learn through it. You get to see it from the eyes of Ryan, from his loved ones, and not only that, you get to just like see what it's like to be in the metaverse. It's like cool. Like I could walk straight for 24 hours, but like, what about if there's a wall in front of me? What do I do? What's your plan of attack? What's the message behind it? There's so much before and after that really attributes to and contributes more contributes and attributes, but contributes to that final product. And I think that metaverse video is the best video on YouTube in the past 5 years. I truly believe that. I'm going to say it again because I don't know if you guys heard me. Ryan Trahan's metaverse video is the best video on YouTube in the past 5 years, hands down. And it impresses me that it's only done by one person, himself. Like, honestly, it is highly impressive. I'm sure there's a lot of other YouTubers that he at least talks to about, like, this stuff. But, I mean, he's the one that edits these videos. He's the guy that records them. It's insane to see, like, what that looks like. And, I mean, obviously, kudos out to Ryan. He just passed Dr. Phil, now his grandpa, in subscribers. And it's going to be incredible to see what he does next because I truly believe at the end of this year, he's at 10 million. I truly believe that. And first and foremost, I mean, Ryan is Ryan. He's a great guy. And I hope one day that I'm able to meet Ryan in person. And I hope one day that Ryan Trahan is in the studio right across from me someday. I know he will. He's going to be on the Realest Podcast. He's going to be on this wall with all these great people. That's going to be nuts. That's going to be insane. And I hope that there's one day, there will be a day where that happens. And I truly believe that in my heart that this man, I think he's shorter than I am. I think we're the same height. Then he would technically be taller than me because his hair like sits more on top of his head than mine does. We'll be looking right across from each other, interviewing each other, having a podcast together. It's gonna be. I feel in the bottom of my heart that will happen one day. Regardless, Ryan Trahan again is going to become one of the biggest YouTubers that ever graced this platform, and regardless or not, like I believe in this man. I believe what he's doing is exactly the message that I want to bring to the camera, and I can learn a lot from him. And hopefully, again, one day he'll be able to sit across from me in this podcast. Maybe not in this chair. Hopefully we'll be able to move like studios or something. Because we're still recording this in our guest room. So, you know, I got to drink that Prime, baby. That lemon lime tastes good. Regardless, Nationers, we have a fight today that's already surpassed us. There's a lot of people on this card. The hype isn't really like great. There's not really any big people. There's a lot of people that you probably know, but at the same time, there's not a lot of many people that really care anymore, because like the people that people really cared about was Logan Paul and KSI. Jake Paul obviously has kind of made his own path, but that was through Deji, who fought today against Alex Wassabi and is now 0-3. Yep. He's 0-3. I'm not going to say that the boxing thing ain't for him, because I think his performance today, I'm like really itchy, by the way. I don't know why. I think his performance today was still really good. Like he lost to a split decision. So there was a ref that thought he won. And I think that's still important to understand, because I would not be surprised if they run it back. I would not be surprised if Deji and Alex Wassabi run it back. Saying that this is Alex Wasabi's second fight? I think he fought like one time. And maybe he didn't. I think he did though. Like one time, like on like a really weird like charity boxing stream or something that nobody knew about. But at the same time, Deji, obviously one of these people that is still on like this vengeance, like redemption, maybe not vengeance, redemption tour. I know what that feels like. I feel as if my result was a little bit better. But we're not going to compare, because he's in the ring. He's boxing. I ain't boxing. I'm freaking jumping on like wet track, and like, that's it. You jump into sand and you're like, yay. Like, I mean, kudos out to Deji, like to step in the ring and like take punches and, you know, have to learn these skills and techniques and strategies as you're fighting. And I mean, that's a far grander than whatever any of my results could have yielded. But at the same time, kind of like the past of this is Deji had fought Jake Paul, lost, but then he fought Vinny Hacker, who's apparently part of the Hype House. I don't really know much about this kid. He's younger than me, so I'm going to refer to him as kid. Okay. Then, yeah, he fought, like, that was like 2 years after that he fought Vinny Hacker in June, and then essentially 9 months later, 8 months later, 9 months later, he decides to fight Alex Wassabi. Interesting, to say the least, but, I mean, kudos out to Alex. I didn't see his, what is it, like, post-game, post-fight, like, interview right in the ring, like, right as you get announced, like, those interviews. I didn't get to see any of that. I just heard, like, how humble he was, so, I mean, I'm assuming I'll probably have to watch what that sounded like and see if it was, like, as humble as people said. It could have been satire. Who knows? But at the same time, like, kudos to Alex. I mean, if there's obviously people that out there that were rooting for you, and you won. You made your fans proud, your mom, dad, brother, sister, family, close friends of yours proud. And I think for Alex, it's very important to really grace that moment, no matter how many people doubted you. I think it's important to grace that moment. And again, if there's people on the other side of you, on the flip side of you, who aren't rooting for you, so what? So what? It doesn't really matter. And the same goes for Deji. You know, there's still a lot of people rooting for you no matter what. We want to see you win. We know that the work that you put in is tremendous. And though the results didn't yield like a win, I think you still won in a lot of people's eyes no matter what. But at the same time, you know, you got to be real with yourself and go back to the drawing board and see what the next plan of attack is. You know, I think boxing is something that a lot of people probably could do without, just like watching it. But at the same time, I feel as if there's a few people that, it's their thing, having that vicious mentality, to step into the boxing ring, entertain, but also do what the job is demanded of you, is to win, and bonus points if you win in fashion. And maybe that's the job, to win in fashion as well. But, kudos out to them. I think it's amazing to see, people still putting on events, because I would love to do an event of my own. Not boxing. Okay, not boxing. I promise, guys. I promise I'm not. Okay, not boxing. I would love to host, like, an event with, like, a whole bunch of YouTubers. I have an idea in mind. I'm not going to say it just because I don't want anybody to do it first. So take that. I would love to host an event one day with a whole bunch of YouTubers, maybe Ryan Trahan. Who knows? I think he'd be great for it. I think he'd be really good for it. And I think it's so awesome to see that there's events still going on, even though this one wasn't promoted to like the death of us. And maybe it was, but I'm not a part of like any of those fan bases. So maybe it just was, and I just was not a part of the loop. But regardless, I feel as if there is something to learn from this, and no matter win or lose for each boxer, each fighter, the event hostees, it's great. Behind the scenes of it, my friend Ellie and I think it's Manny, but his Instagram's Manu Makata. So I'm like, I always want to call him Manny because that's what I feel. I'm gonna call him Manny. But they were at the fight. And it was cool because, all these YouTubers were just, chilling, ringside. The ring floor wasn't big, so you could really just, go up to people and, say whatever. So it was really cool. Manny had got to talk to Chunks. They also saw a lot of other British YouTubers. And, I think it's, really, really cool to see, especially bigger YouTubers really, give back, just those moments. And I want to build those moments with you guys, the fans, as much as, if not more, than what a lot of these bigger YouTubers are that have a lot more status, is to build those moments of oh my gosh, whenever, we're just oh my gosh, I met John Cena at WrestleMania. I got a shirt signed. I got to meet Dude Perfect. I got to meet Liza Koshy. Those moments are things that fans just never forget. And having an understanding as a creator that those moments are so crucial to them, their life, because at the time, it's their life. And it's so awesome to see. It really is, to see those moments really just live on camera. And that's something that I really want to bring to you guys as fans, however that seems fit, whether that be arenas selling out shows, whether that be the event, whether that be just anything throughout this. That's what I want to build. I want to build those moments. So if you guys are here for the ride, I hope I can at least build these moments for you guys. And at least I know in my heart that there's moments on this channel, on the main channel, on the stream, finishing from 5,000th place to 8th place on a Skyblock Island in less than 2 weeks is insane. And it's only possible because of you guys. So that's a moment that I'm able to cherish. And the feeding the entire homeless population in my city, that entire moment, the time when I got to meet the Juvie boys, when we had our first episode with John. By the way, Juvie just hit their first year on YouTube. I was going to say in Juvie, I was going to make a joke, but Juvie just hit their first year on YouTube. So congratulations. 1 year of podcast, killing it. By the way, I think they already hit 5K subscribers, which is insane. I'm going to check to see, because I actually feel like they did. Let's see. I'm gonna find out. Yeah, 502. Yep, 5,020 subscribers. So shout out to Juvie. They had mentioned to me, Knight had, that I was the most downloaded guest that they've had on downloads on streaming platforms other than YouTube. So that is incredible. That is incredible to see that myself, oh goody, and the nation, that story is able to uphold. And Again, like shout out to Juvie. They've been able to grace me with an amazing platform, and hopefully I've been able to grace them with an amazing platform. They're my most viewed video on my main channel. That video is at 2,000, a little over 2,000 views, and it's incredible to see like what they've done. And I know our journey together is not done. 2,203 views. So shout out to Juvie. They really contributed to that video a ton. So yeah, that video is incredible. I love that video. I gotta drink that Prime, baby. Beyond that, I mean, yeah, like I kind of already mentioned the Skyblock, those moments, and I mean that was insane. If you guys know, you know. Check me out on the stream. It's I'm the real Jared still. I'm gonna change it to I'm Jared Hathaway because that's what it's gonna be on all socials. I'm Jared Hathaway, but I'm the real Jared is kind of what it is now. It will change to I'm Jared Hathaway, but I'll leave a link in the description of this video. If you guys want to check me out on Twitch, we're live pretty much every day at 4 p.m. for the most part. But yeah, there's also a Discord that I'll leave in the description so you guys actually know when I go live, just in case so you're not like waiting at 4 p.m. and I don't stream, which has happened. But I try my best not to. I always remind you guys in Discord when I'm streaming, what I'm doing. So we head on to the LA meetup for Creator Now. I'm excited for it. It's going to be on the 19th. We're apparently going to go on a hike. They're still emailing details about that, but it should be the 19th, the morning of, and then like something kind of maybe mostly throughout the day, which I'm really, really excited about. I'm excited to meet Zach and Kate, who are the workers, the CEOs. I know Zach's the CEO of One Day Entertainment, but I know Kate, I don't know her proper title. I don't know her position. But I'm excited to meet the people at One Day Entertainment who manage Airac, who manage Yes Theory, who manage the Cheeky Boyos. And it's incredible because they've played such a huge role within my life as a creator. All the other people a part of Creator Now that are going to be in the LA area. It's incredible to see what that's, you know, just the impact that not only that those two people have, Kate and Zach, but how they've impacted so many other creators and how they're bringing them together. So I'm surely excited for it, and I hope that I could take you guys along for the journey. If you guys want to check any of the journey out, it's going to be on Instagram at I'm Jared Hathaway. Finally got that at, so we're good. On Instagram, I'm Jared Hathaway. There's no more, by the way, there's no more like Joru for anybody that knows me as that. There's also no more like I'm the real Jared or the real Jared. Even though I have the TRJ here, it's disregard it. You can't even see it on the camera. It never existed, okay? Out of sight, out of mind, okay? Take that seriously, okay? No more Jared, no more Joru, okay? I mean, no, but there's still a Jared. It's a Jared Hathaway now. But my artist name will be Jared. That's what it will be. So regardless, Nation, I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I will see you guys in the next episode. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, and a comment on what you guys want to see. Will Ryan Trahan be across from me in the next 50 episodes? Yes. Regardless, have a good one. 07. Peace. Peace.